Hey there, it's Tia, and today we're going to be talking about what is going on in Russian figure skating. Because frankly, I have no idea. And look, leading into the Beijing Olympics, and like kind of after that, I like to think I was an expert at all things Russian skating. And by Russian skating, I am only referring to the ladies because I'm actually a loser who doesn't know everything about Russian skating. Yeah, anyway, I was an expert. Um, but since there's been no international competitions for 3 years now, I've kind of just lost track of what's happening, who I should be following, who I should be excited for. And, that could be because there is a lack of publicity at the moment, with the ISU not sharing things about Russian skating. But yeah, I just feel like even with the current pool of skaters who I know, I just don't know these big personalities. I don't know if there's any like dynamic rivalries or background stories. Um, yeah, like there's a void in my heart from the post 3A era and just that storyline of the next girl who comes up to be just as disposable as the one before them. Um, I don't know if that's happening right now. I don't think it is. And just in general, I'm hungry and Russian skating isn't feeding me. So I want to explore these voids in my heart and see what's going on. So yeah, particularly today, I'm just gonna continue with a little gist of what is happening in Russian skating. I want to talk about where some of those big names are. Like, 3A, where are they? What are they doing right now? We'll talk a little bit about that. I'll also go over the Grand Prix series, as well as some predictions about the final and the Olympics, because that's happening like kind of soon. Next season is the pre-Olympic season, which what you're going to find out in this video is going to be an absolute bloodbath of a season. Um, I'm excited, but I'm terrified. So strap in for the roller coaster that is about to come. I'm so excited, and without any further ado, let's get into it. So, firstly, I will mention the fact that the ban is ongoing. However, there has been speculations that for the Olympics, there's going to be one Russian skater allowed per discipline, which is insane. It's not confirmed. I believe this information has only just come out. But there will be a meeting in March of 2025 where I think we'll hear an answer about that or get confirmation. I feel like the one athlete makes sense. And personally, I would love to see neutral athletes competing because these are athletes who have trained their whole life to compete in their sport. They're not trying to do these bad things. So I think for athletes who aren't supporting negative acts and, who are just existing as their own neutral people, I would love to see them compete. So that's really all I'll say on that topic. But yeah, one skater per event is insane. It's actually going to be the Hunger Games. Oh my gosh. Even the extent that we know these girls go to compete for 3 spots, for one spot, is insane pressure. I don't think I could cope with that. Even the thought like stresses me out. So yeah, it's gonna be insane to watch. Excited? Yes. Terrified? Yes. Hotel Trivago. Fuck. But anyway, that that is sort of what's going on with Russian skating at the moment. Um, so I want to quickly do a catch up of 3A because I feel like this is such a prime era in terms of my own following of figure skating. I really got into it as 3A was sort of in their prime and just watching them at every competition, watching things live. Like 3A is the era where I've felt most a part of figure skating. So they mean a lot to me. So where are they is my question. And basically, if we start with Anna, little Sherbsy, she's kind of just non-existent in the skating word right now. Um, skating world, sorry. But she does pop up every now and then for hosting and like digital media and stuff, which is great because I mean, like I did watch test skates. Wait, when's that? Like last No, that was this year. Yeah. I, sorry. I watched Test Skates this year and I was like so happy that Anna was there. Same with the jumping championships. It's just I love to see my girl. But yeah, it's also the fact as well. Like all three of these girls are my age. They're like in about to hit well, in their 20s. I'm about to hit 20 and they're like retired. And that's insane because I've been here watching them rise, watching them compete in their prime, and now they're gone in a span of a few years. Um, and yeah, there's a hole in my little nerd heart. We established that, but it's a shame. Like of the three girls, Anna's the most gone, I guess, and that's fair enough. She went through so much. Yeah, I'm emotionally attached to Sherbs, but anyway, but she did recently perform in an ice show, and I believe that was the first time she did a show since her like major surgery. I could be wrong, but I know she performed, is what I'm saying. And that's exciting because I would love to see her on the ice again. I don't expect her to ever compete again. I'm not even really hoping that she will. I think it's good that she can rest now and let herself heal and just do it for fun, you know? So yeah, it's nice to hear about her, nice to see her, but that's sort of all I have to say about Anna Sherbakova. So let's talk about Alexandra Ignatova, aka Trusova, Quad Queen. I don't know, girl's married now. Like, come on, what the heck? Um, I believe she is still training, but she's definitely not in her peak athletic shape. And I don't, I don't think she'll ever be able to do what she did at the Olympics again. But, I trust in her ability to train, and I feel like she's the kind of person that if she has a goal in mind, she'll do everything in her power to try and achieve it. So yeah, I'm excited for what we see of Sasha moving forwards. She does like to keep her plans to herself, which is fair. I would as well. I did see a recent interview where people were asking if she would train for the next Olympics because, obviously that's a question that a lot of people are asking. And, it's in my mind, my delusion that she's gonna go finally get a gold medal. Um, but yeah, she responded with to that interviewer that it's very far. Now I live for today. I work, I train, I do shows. There's a lot of them. Like she's not saying she will, but she's also not saying she won't. So, yeah, she would be 20, 21 for the Olympics season, which that's kind of old. Like it's not old at all. Especially after seeing like Amber Glenn, Kari Sakamoto, like these older women who are doing so well. But as a Russian teen who went through so much stress, like it's kind of unfeasible to ever be where she was. And, she'd be going up against those said names as well as well, she wouldn't be going up against them because she'd have to defeat them to even get to the Olympics. But yeah, it's there was another interview as well where she mentioned that suddenly everything hurts, which at that point, I don't know, it worries me because she is theoretically beyond the Atari expiry date, which is just heartbreaking that that's even a thing. And like both Anna and Aliona have had major injuries and surgeries. But I feel like Sasha hasn't really had anything big yet. Even though she's been doing so many technically advanced things, it's crazy. This is all just feels so wrong to say, but like it's crazy that she's okay, you know? So yeah, I want to see more of Sasha, but I'm just worried as to how much her body will handle, and I want her to be healthy. I want her to be safe. So I want to see more of her. I believe we'll see more of her, but who knows? I don't. So let's talk about the final girl of 3A, which is none other than Aliona Kostornaia, who is also married as well. I don't know how to say his last name. It's like Konitskaya, Konisia, Kon. freaking konnichiwa. I don't know. But yeah, like seriously, I'm feeling so behind in life. But yeah. Anyway, Aliona is also currently competing, kind of, but in pairs, with said husband, which like I know in the recent documentary, she mentioned that pairs has always been an option for her. But, like, I wonder if she is trying to be one of the top Russian pairs, or if it is kind of just for fun, to stay out on the ice, to just, still be a part of it. I don't know, but obviously I know that pairs is very, very tough in Russia. And as much as, like, I like watching them to see how they're doing, you can tell that they're not the best. They don't connect together. It is almost like you're watching two solo skaters on the ice together. They're just not really, they don't have that connection. And especially watching the documentary, the dynamic they have is like kind of worrying. Um, it's interesting. We'll talk more about that in a moment. But I mean, like they did skate at test skates, and that was great. I mean, the routine was really nostalgic, with the old dress and everything. Like, it's literally feeding my delusion that Aliona's gonna like drop his ass and go back to solo skating. Because I reckon she could handle it. Seriously, even without her triple axel. She's landing like solid triples. I swear I've even seen like triple combinations in the current field of Russian ladies who don't have Ultra C elements. I still think she could do okay. I don't think she'd be too far behind. But yeah, anyway, enough manifestation. So they did skate at Russian test skates, as I mentioned, and that was great because we had all the three A girls together. Because Anna was hosting, talking, I don't know, whatever the word is for that. Sasha was skating, and Aliona was skating. Like, guys, we have 3A reunion. However, they did withdraw from the rest of the season, which was due to an illness, apparently. But it was also revealed that they're now not skating for 2 full seasons. So I'm going to assume that includes this season and next season, unless they're like starting the two from now. So maybe they're not back until like 2026 or 2027, which that's a long time. I'm gonna miss I'm gonna miss the little Miss Devil Kostornaia. Um, but aside from skating, I did mention the documentary, and I want to talk a little bit more about that because this is crazy, some of the things. Like one of the quotes, which is like really memorable, is I endured it for 2 effing years. I can no longer communicate with this person. He does not satisfy me on the ice as an athlete. Girl, that's a big statement. That is a big thing to say. Um, and on like I want to say live TV, but it's not like TV. But on the internet, girl, yeah, wow. So that makes me really wonder, obviously, like the tension of training. She's probably frustrated because she's trying to help him, I guess, and I do think she's a bit more advanced in her skating or in her skating skills than him. Um, so I understand her frustration, but Miss Girl, this is your husband. Like, you can't be too mean. But it's, yeah, obviously you can't know what their life is like from like simple clips. And she does make a point of home is home, ice is ice, there's no ice at home. Like, they try to keep their lives separate. And yeah, I mean, I hope they're doing well with that, is all I can really say about it. Another thing, actually, there's a few more other things I want to mention, but the documentary did cover quite a bit of stuff from like her solo skating era and prior to the Olympics and everything. Also that just like messy period where she left to Terry, came back, left again, all of that jazz. So there was one part where she talked about, and at this point she was under Plashenko, but when she was sick, she sort of like hid that from her coaches, she didn't tell them, and she still skated. because she felt that her option was either you skate or you get in trouble, even though, like, realistically, she would have had the freedom now to not skate if she wasn't feeling good, but I guess, she just didn't see that as an option, which is crazy because it really makes you think what all these other girls and all these other skaters at a Terry's camp have been through to be, what we see of them on the ice, like the amount of probably pain, sweat, tears, blood, everything they've endured in training to compete and to be what we see of them. It's just, yeah, it's such a rabbit hole that I'm not going to go into today. Because there was another point, another point in the interview that I wanted to talk about, and that is the fact that Aliona got in trouble because she didn't ask for permission to wear a cast when she literally broke her arm. Like, I'm sorry, you don't break your arm and go to the doctor or the hospital and tell them, actually, no, I'm not going to have a cast today. Like, if you break your arm, they give it to you because you need it to heal. So the fact she got in trouble for that is actually, like, insane. And as well as the fact that she was told, you have too many injuries, you are of age, you are not a kid anymore. Like, you are of age. They're basically confirming that once you're an adult, you don't skate anymore in Russia. Like, it's a Terry teaches kids, and Aliona was too broken, too old, and then she got kicked out. She got kicked out because a Terry doesn't know how to work with adult bodies. It's heartbreaking because I'm going to talk about Amber Glenn again because I love this woman, but with everything she's been through with looking after your physical health, your mental health, like that is so important. And you see that she focuses on those things and she's still skating at 25. And it's such a different world. Like, our Amber Glenn has landed well, made her triple axel like consistent, competing well, doing amazing in competition. Like, 6 years after most of these Russian girls have had their peak and retired. Clearly, I want to say something's going wrong in training in Russia just because it works, but you're basically like ending life for these girls. Like, so many of them will never live life the same because of how broken they are, which, boom, mind blown. But yeah, anyway, that is sort of the main points I'll talk about from the documentary. I have been watching like translated versions, so I don't know if my translations are correct, if what I'm telling you is 100% word for word. But that's the main gist of it, of what I understood is going on. So that's all I'll talk about as in backgrounds of skaters. Because now I do want to talk about who is currently competing this season. And I won't talk about the juniors, but I will mention Margarita and Elena because I assume they're both still competing. But I originally watched them like last year. I sort of sussed them out a little bit because at that point they just stood out and they were like these new crazy little kids doing like insane things. But after that, I lost track. And there's literally like so many 8-year-olds landing quads that it means nothing. I get posts like daily on my Instagram where it's like, oh, new member of the quad club. And I'm like, guys, I don't even know who you are anymore. So, yeah, I won't talk about them, but I did want to mention their names because I do remember them. So if they pop up in a few years' time, that's great. I can say I'm an OG. In the seniors, which is rightfully now only girls above 16 years old, which, changes things up a little bit for our little Russian technique over here. But who do we have? We kind of technically have Camila, but she's not competing. But she is skating, doing some like shows at the moment. I believe they're all non-state funded shows. But anyway, she's like kind of there. Same with Aliona and Sasha. They're like kind of there, kind of not. But we'll move on because we have in like the current Grand Prix series, you have Sofia Akateva, Sofia I actually can't say Russian names, guys. Sofia Murova, I can say it in my head, but I can't say it in words. Anyway, Alina Gorbacheva, Adelia Petrosyan, Daria Sadkova, and then Kenzia Sinitsia. And okay, these are like three that I don't know. Didn't know their names before this. But yeah, so Kenzia, Anna Frolova, and Veronica Yamatova. They're three people who have actually been going fairly well, from what I understand. But yeah, there were three names who I really didn't know anything about. So that's cool. I've learned a little bit about them. And there's obviously a bunch more skaters, but they're just the top girls that I will talk about. So let's do that with an overview of the Russian Grand Prix series. Now, this is something I did have to kind of study a little bit because I watched the test skates whenever that was, a few months ago or something. And then I haven't really followed the the series since then. But I have watched quite a few clips, which has been fun because, I do remember them from test skates, so it's cool to sort of see where they are now and form some new opinions about their routines and things. So I will share some of those with you, starting with Sofia Akativa. And honestly, it was just comforting to see her still skating, because I did like her routines no, I did like her in like 2023. And yeah, like the short program, I love the dress. It was very pretty and I remember it. Like that was an old costume, right? I'm not tripping. I swear, I swear I remember that dress. Okay, wait, I need to do a voiceover right now because I've confused myself. At test skates, she did wear the same dress, so that is why I recognized it. However, in the later clips I watched of her short program, she had changed her dress, so that makes sense. Sorry for the confusion and sorry for this horrible voiceover. I am sick right now. But anyway, let's continue. And I think she had good emotion on her face while she was skating. Same for the free skate. I love her dress again. Like she just has great costumes and she skated well. I'm glad she's back and her skating is really pretty, but I feel like technically she kind of just blends in with everyone else. So, yeah, like mm, I don't know exactly where she would sit for me at the moment. And then Alina Gorbacheva, I also remember watching this at test skates because the like darker kind of sassy vibe really stood out. And since test skates, the routine has definitely grown on me. I did like it at test skates because before that, like the last few seasons, she was sort of someone who I'm like, oh, yeah, I know who you are, but anyway, like I never really followed her. I kind of just knew of her because of the whole like suspected kidnapping thing, if you guys remember that. But yeah, anyway, I really like her energy in the short, and that's the same with the free as well. I don't know if it's like her, but I do love the kind of personality that's going with this vibe. And yeah, I just enjoyed catching up on her progress, and honestly, I'm actually excited to follow her moving forwards. I think she's a really, really cool skater who is growing into a good senior skater. And now again, not again, but we have Sofia Muravieva. You guys know who I'm talking about. And since the Olympics, right, she has been one of my favorites. I have loved her for so long because she's just like, I don't know, she just looks like the kind of person I want to give a hug. She just seems so friendly and wholesome. Um, but yeah, I definitely really enjoyed watching her during like the 2022-2023 season. And honestly, I remember at that point in time, I thought she was going to be like one of the next big things, you know? I think there was a point in time there where she started landing her triple axel, and I was like so excited following along, watching that. But yeah, that's sort of not happening at the moment, which I think she's having a bit of a tough time, unfortunately. But either way, I did really love the short program because like that soft, sort of delicate skating. it's just awesome. It was really, really nice. Um, and look, honestly, I don't care if like swan routines and like Black Swan is overused because the way she like did the contrasting routines, like you had like the White Swan and the Black Swan as two kind of similar but different vibes. I love it. I love that kind of that storyline. But yeah, overall, I think she's been in fourth basically this whole season. So I really want to see her have her moment, find stability. And I look forward to see how she'll go next year. I definitely will be keeping my eye on her. But I'll move on to who I believe is the current it girl, which is Adelia Petrosian. And she's another one I have followed for a long time. So I have loved her for ages, especially with like her and Camilla sort of like, I guess, coming up together in a way. Like they were sort of the next ones coming for 3A. Adelia, not as much because she was younger. But yeah. And look, last season I was a little bit disappointed with like the Michael Jackson programs and stuff. It did grow on me. I did learn to enjoy it, but she's in my eyes, she's such like a delicate skater, and to have like a delicate sort of still powerful song this season, I was really excited. I was so glad to see her have like a nice routine. Oh, and the long program. I loved it, honestly, especially following like watching videos from the season. It's really grown on me. I am really enjoying it, and I am a sucker for a red dress. We know that. And as I said, both programs have really grown on me. I enjoy both of them, so I think she's just a great package for me at the moment. Um, Same with Daria Sadkova. And I think this is her first senior season, officially, maybe. But I remember her, I think, from juniors, but I never really got attached to her. She just kind of existed. I was like off focusing on other people, honestly. Um, but I was like, thought her short program was cool. Her jumps are really nice. The main thing that stands out to me, I think, is her flexibility. She has like just gorgeous flexibility, and her like body line in her positions is really, really great. Yeah, I think she just seems like someone I should keep my eye on a bit more. I feel like she's sort of the one who is made out to be that next star. But then at the same time, I think like Adelia hasn't started declining yet, you know? So I think Daria will be there for when that happens. But yeah, I think without international competitions in general, it's kind of just hard to like really know who anyone is at the moment. And I didn't really, yeah, honestly, when she came out at test skates, I didn't really care because in my mind, she wasn't really anyone. But since then, I've definitely got to know her a bit more. So that is a win, I guess. And then we have the three that I honestly didn't know and still don't really know. So we have Anna Frolova, who originally I wasn't really a fan of her long program. I'm still kind of like, eh, it's all right. Her short program has grown on me. I can see a bit more of like the performative side from that routine. But like I don't know, I don't really like the music. So yeah, like I can appreciate she's a good skater, but I think in the context of, the Russian ladies, she doesn't really stand out to me. Um, so yeah, that's all I'll say for now. Then Kenzia, another one who I'd never heard of. I can't actually remember seeing her at test skates. I'm sure she was there, but I just, I was didn't care honestly, so I don't remember her. I also think her long program, her free program, was quite similar to the short. Um, so it's kind of like even now, I thinking about it, I can't really recall her. Um, Veronica, same idea is that I don't know her, don't really care, but I do remember her from test skates. And I remember her because I didn't like her dress for the long program. So yeah, she's another one who I'm not really going to talk much about because I don't have much to say. But I do like how she dances on the ice. Like she really does perform and is sort of just there and is quite present. So I do like that about her. And, I'll be interested to see how she goes, as well as like those other girls who I don't really know. I'd be interested to follow them moving forwards. But the last person I want to mention is Trusova, because Miss Trusova was at Test Skates, which I was actually so excited. Because I mentioned I watched it, and I stayed up and I watched Test Skates live, and I was so excited. And like the music in the short, um, it was like soft and different, and you could really see how her skating has matured over time. And like having her there, it made me feel like I'm actually watching an adult competition. However, like you can tell she's not in shape, and her spins were like hardly there. And I liked the program, but at the same time, it's like it doesn't feel like Sasha. It doesn't feel like that same little like pocket rocket that we know. But yeah, and I mean, her long program, it almost felt too dark, but it is also kind of more like the image of Sasha we know. So yeah, honestly, I have mixed opinions on both the routines. I'm not like instant love, but at the same time, I didn't not like them. So yeah. It was nice that she attempted a quad, but disappointing that she fell. And it was also like a really painful looking fall. Like it did not look like a nice fall. But yeah, like you can sort of tell she isn't fully there, not fully in it, but either way, I'm glad she was there. I'm glad she was there to try. Excited to watch her. And, I hope that she shoots for bigger things moving forwards. And she didn't skate the rest of the season, so I don't have any progress to compare to. But yeah, anyway, that's sort of my main gist of those main skaters that I've been following. Sort of my opinions of them and how they have progressed. So I do want to talk about now the rankings at each stage. And then I'll talk about some predictions about the final stage and whatnot as well. So for the first Grand Prix stage, we had Anna Frolova, Kenzia Gushina, and Kenzia Sinitsia, which of all the skaters competing, I literally like knew none of them. These are the only three names that I kind of knew, or like kind of knew from test skates. But yeah, not really much to say about them at this point. So then the second stage in Kazan, we had Adelia Petrosian, Veronika Yemtova, and Daria Sadkova, which that's like, they're bigger names to me. And honestly, I would have thought Daria would have been in second, but I don't know. I want to say she had a rough skate in the short program because she finished in seventh, but I also can't recall the exact routine, so I don't know. But I think one thing I'm noticing in just Russian skating in general is pretty much if you're not doing a triple axel in the short program, you kind of just blend in with everyone. Like there's nothing that really puts you in that top spot. And it's the same like well with Daria, she does have quite solid quad jumps, so it makes sense that she can jump back to the top in the free program. Um, but yeah, I think interesting results. I'm not surprised Adelia is in first. But yeah, anyway, at the third stage, we had Anna Frolova again, and then Alina Gorbacheva and Sofia Akateva, which this is probably the most surprising one to me. And that's just because I know Sofia Akateva. I know Alina Gorbacheva. Like, I know these two people. I've watched them. They're bigger names to me. So it's sort of a biased opinion that I'm wondering why they didn't win, just because I know them as skaters and I don't know Anna. Um, but yeah, considering Anna has won like two stages of the Grand Prix, it definitely makes me want to keep an eye on her, and try and like see what's setting her apart from the others. But yeah, at this stage, I don't have much else to say about that. So at the fourth stage in Moscow, we again had Adelia Patrosian, then we had Daria Sadkova and Kenzia Sinitsia, which is the second time her name has come up as well. And then this time, again, Adelia in first, and then this time Daria did get the silver medal, which in my current mind, I see them as the two sort of leaders at the moment. So I think that's just pretty predictable. Um, then we have St. Petersburg as the fifth stage of the Grand Prix. And this one we had Alina Gorbacheva, Veronika Yemtova, and someone who I don't know, Sofia Vaznova? I don't know if that's how you say her name. Frankly, I have no idea who she is, so I won't talk about her. Um, but yeah, it's good that Alina got a gold in this one and she beat Veronica. Um, which, I mean, Veronica was going well at the second stage because she got second over Daria Sadkova. Um, so I guess that makes sense that she's there. But then, like, she didn't beat Alina, so I don't know if that was, like, not her day or if that's just sort of her level wise. I don't know. Like, other than knowing that Adelia is going well, um, working out, like, who is where feels like one of those comparative reasoning problems you would do in, like, high school maths, where Sarah is taller than Tom, Tom is taller than Alice, who is taller? That's literally what I feel like. Um, Anyway, after the fifth stage, we had the Russian Championships. Now, that is monumental stuff. We need to talk about that. And at the Russian Championships, I think it is a pretty predictable podium, being that we had Adelia Petrosian, Daria Sadkova, and Alina Gorbacheva. At this stage, Adelia is the back-to-back Russian champion. I believe she's been the winner of every single event since the start of 2023, which, like, guys, again, predictable. Predictable pattern, I mean. Um, but specifically, like, about these girls, for Adelia, I like in a short program, I love the slide at the end of her step sequence. Like, that's just something that really is memorable to me out of like everything in the routine. Because it was so on time and just like, yeah, I really I liked that. Same as a triple axel is just gorgeous. And I think like, I watched Adelia years ago. I absolutely fell in love with her from Valar. I might have already mentioned that in this video. I don't care. Um, and she was always kind of in my eyes like that little younger one who was like a little bit frantic, a little bit sporadic in her jumps. She scared me a little bit. But no, I really think after watching her this season and catching up on her, she's got so much more stability and growth. So same with the long program, probably the most stable triple axel I've ever seen her do. Like that was actually really well done. I mean, she's obviously young and tiny and rotates so quickly, so you can't really compare, I guess, her triple axel versus like Amber Glenn. They're two very different people, but either way, great looking jump. Same with her quad jumps. They were also very strong. Um, I really like the long program. I was a little like hesitant at first, I think, but I really like it because there's so many accents in the music and she just hits every one of them perfectly. So I like that and I'm a sucker for a Latin piece. I did enjoy that. So in second place, then we had Daria, who her short program, she had good jumps, like they were strong. She didn't do the triple axel, but there was a really nice double axel. I liked I guess, hunchman crouch, you call it, maybe. The entry and arms above as well. So it was a nice jump. Um, and then she hit the boards. Girl hit the edge of the rink, which is not ideal, obviously. But she did recover really well in the next jumps. And the step sequence. Again, I'm starting to realize that I'm actually like a sucker for a good step sequence. Because I really liked hers in particular because she had a lot of things that I found to be quite unique. A lot of different movements and just like positions, which I really liked. Also, the fact that her flexibility is just insane. I just literally, I don't have the words. I am flabbergasted. Um, yeah. Anyway, her long program, right? Stunning dress. I love the dress. And again, she had really stable quad jumps, which I think definitely carries her in the free program. Um, yeah, I think towards the end of the program, she started to get a little bit wobbly, which, girl, fair enough. It's a 4.5 minute, 4 minute routine. I can't make it through a 4 minute routine. I get you, girl. Um, but watching Daria and Adelia, but watching Daria actually makes me feel like I'm watching Russian ladies. Oh, and as well, I was watching one of the repeats, and guys, who's that? Who's that familiar voice? Is that Anna Sherbakova? And it was. So, as I mentioned before, Anna just pops up every now and then for like commentary events and stuff. So, yeah. And look, I'm never going to say no to a guest appearance by Sherbs herself. That's a win. Um, yeah. So then in third place, we need to talk about Alina, who honestly had a really strong short program. And as mentioned, I really like her short program. I like both her routines this season. And I feel like now I'm at the point where I'm starting to understand her as a skater. I'm starting to see that personality through her. And I love that. That's what I really love about just skating is getting to know the people. So I'm really excited for Alina. And you can definitely see that she's got potential as she was only 8 points behind Adelia, and in second place after the short, which is a great place to be. I mean, she beat Daria by quite a few points. Daria was in fifth after the short, so you can see the difference there. And then moving on to the free program, it was also really cool. I love the performative vibe to it. And she started really strong. There was a fall, and then there were no other quads after that. And I think because the scores were so close between sixth and third place, I think that would have made a really big difference to, where she ended up overall. Yeah, she literally hung on by a sliver. She got into third by zero point 0.2 of a mark. So she barely got third. But especially after seeing an interview after she skated, and she was talking about how glad she was to finally get her first national medal. And she was like, really worried that she thought she'd lost it. She thought it was gone. But the score obviously came out and she got it. I was proud of her. I'm happy. And I mean, like, I know she's younger, or another one of the girls who I think is this her second senior season? Um, Maybe, I'm not entirely sure, but she's got time hopefully to really solidify herself. And I'm excited to see that. But anyway, I really want to quickly mention who I think is going to win the Grand Prix final. And honestly, I think it will just be basically the same. I think it'll be Adelia, Daria, and Alina because they're just the three that are sort of going the strongest. They've really shown their level of stability this season. Um, so yeah, I'm thinking it'll be those three. And like honestly, Sophia Mori, I still can't say her name. Moravita was on the edge of the podium the entire season. Like she was the one that was zero point 0.2 points behind third place at nationals. Like come on. So yeah, look, I think without having her triple axel in the short, again, it makes her kind of blend in. But look, I hope that she can have a strong skate without the wobbles. I'm pretty confident she's like in a way on the back burner, ready to take a medal if any of those three girls have any falters, you know? So yeah, I definitely think it will be those three unless something crazy happens, which I wouldn't doubt it because Russian skating is crazy. Um, okay, hi. Me from the future. I was very optimistic to think I would finish editing this video before the Grand Prix final. Um, Clearly I didn't because that happened a few days ago. So I do want to talk about the Grand Prix final, and I'm going to squeeze that into this video because I feel like it'd be kind of weird if I didn't, being that I'm kind of talking about predictions and stuff here. But anyway, I'm not going to talk about everyone, but I do want to start with Sofia Akativa because if you know, you know. It was a heartbreaking long program. She had an opening fall, then a pop, then another fall, and yeah, it was not her day. She finished in 11th place, which she was put out to be the next it girl of a Terry's camp. Like she was the next Camilla, but that never happened. And just so sadly at the moment, it's like we're watching her crumble in front of our eyes. So yeah, my heart breaks for Sophia Activa, but I'm not going to dwell on her for too long today, because this a similar thing happened like with Daria Sadkova. She is again what I believe to be that next rising star, the young one who's coming up with all these quads and going to take down the current leader. Um, but she had a strong short program, but at the same time, it's nothing like crazy. Being that she doesn't have the triple axel, it doesn't really set her above in the short program. Um, but in her long program, you could really tell that she was wobbly. She had a fall, and just to see her cry and be so disappointed in herself, that just breaks my heart. So yeah, we're not off to a strong start. These girls are just like literally making me depressed. And now on a very not more positive note, I also wanted to make a special mention of Sofia Maravilla because her short program was strong. It was stable. Probably like the most gorgeous triple triple combination I've seen this competition. And she made it to first place after the short program. And she was just so happy. She looked so proud of herself, and I was proud of her. And I'm thinking, I manifested this, okay? Like I know that I am publishing this video after the Grand Prix, but I did this other editing before that, and I literally manifested Sofia Muravita supremacy, okay? Um, but obviously not enough.
Oh my God, my Shayla.
Because her long program, obviously she doesn't have any quads, so this is where, she would really need to be stable and strong to beat the other girls who are doing quads. So, that's something she doesn't have on her side to begin with. But even in this outing, she did have a stumble. And yes, ended up once again in fourth place. So to look at our podium from the Grand Prix final, In third place, we had Alina Gorbachieva, who, after the short program, was in second place. And she had a pretty good short. The triple triple combination was something, again, that was memorable to me. It was just really nice. But talking about her long program, she did do an amazing combination with a quad jump. So, she started strong, but after that, she had a fall and then another fall, which, guys, don't pick music that sings about hitting the floor, is all I can say. Um, but yeah, even with two falls, she still ended up on the podium by just making it into third place. Um, Now I want to talk about Anna Frolova, who ended up in second place overall, which that's sort of, I want to say surprising to me. But then also following her throughout this season, like, I know now she is a strong skater and I know what she's capable of. Um, so yeah, with Anna, after the short program, she was right behind Adelia. That's right, Adelia in fourth place. Now in her short program. Look, there were good jumps. It was a great performance. Nothing overly negative stands out to me for a short program. So, yeah, fair enough. But moving on to her long program, again, there was a really strong start. Um, I loved the little like interaction with the judges. And honestly, I think I have, like, past me has fallen victim to the cat's hatred because, look, it is a good routine and I do like how she performs it. So maybe I'm a little bit biased to have originally said I didn't like the routine. I think I just had some predisposed opinions, okay? But yeah, anyway, she had a great clean skate and ended up in second place. So well done, Anna. Now, in first place, which this is one's a little bit funky because yes, overall first place is Adelia, as I myself and I guess most other people would have expected. Um, After her short program, she was actually in third place. Now, I'm not sure what was happening at this competition because she was struggling with her triple axel in the warm-up. In the routine, she under-rotated and again fell on the triple axel. The rest of the routine went well, but I guess putting her apart from the others in the short program, again, I'll reiterate that idea. It is the triple axel, which is giving her and giving anyone else who has a triple axel that advantage in the short program. But yeah, anyway, so she was sitting in third place after the short. So moving into the long program, I'm now a little bit worried because are we not, is Adelia not going to win? Is my thoughts. Who's going to win? Who's going to get gold? Like, this is going to throw up literally everything that I had predicted. But anyway, going into the long program, she didn't fall, but she just didn't do the triple axel altogether. So she didn't fall because she didn't do it, you know? You hear what I'm saying? She popped it into a waltz jump. And I'm saying that could have been like a strategic move just to avoid risking a fall. Um, Still, I don't know why she wouldn't have planned to possibly go with a double axel. Um, but anyway, yeah, so she popped the axle at the start of the competition. However, after that, she had stable quads and she did well. She did okay. Like, she got it through the routine, the performance was still there. Um, but I can remember now, like, watching it, how stressed she looked, in the kiss and cry. And I actually felt really sad because I could just tell probably how anxious she was or disappointed or that she's let everyone else down. Um, so yeah, I definitely had my heartstrings pulled watching this Grand Prix final. Um, but yeah, so that's your podium. You had Adelia, Anna Frolova, and Alina Gorbacheva. That isn't what I predicted. I thought we were gonna have Daria Sadkova up there, potentially swapping out with Anna. Um, so yeah, I predicted that wrong. And the fact that like, oh my God, I'm like thinking now, Adelia, she is getting older, and the Olympics are 1 year away. That is like, I've said this before in this video, but that is a whole year of age, and age is not a friend in Russia. So I'm starting to like, I know the rest of this video is already filmed where I'm talking about my predictions, but I'm actually worried that I'm going to be wrong because what if Adelia doesn't make it? What if? I don't know. We will find out. But anyway, I'm going to end this voiceover and go back to the original recording because this is already a huge video. And I doubt anyone is even listening to this, but I mean, hey, editing this has occupied me during my uni break, so a win is a win, my friends. But anyway, say goodbye to future Tia because we are going back to the recording. Bye! The insane thing is, I'm thinking these three girls are our top three girls, and then I remember the Olympics where only one of them will represent. One! One of them! What kind of bloodbath Hunger Games is this gonna be? Yeah. At this point, I'm thinking Olympics will be Adelia, but then Adelia, that's like 2 more years of like age, which is a lot in Russian skating. Um, but I think if Adelia looks after herself and can stay healthy, avoid injury, I'm pretty safe to assume Adelia will go for Russia. Or maybe even Daria. Uh, yeah, it's just, oh, it's crazy because there's one shot. And the fact with Russian skating, these girls, if they don't go this year, they're not really gonna get another chance, which is just the pressure. Oh my God. But yeah, look, anyway, now I feel slightly more caught up on Russian skating. Hopefully you also now know what's going on in Russian skating. Um, and remember, like, my videos are my opinions, so this is probably all biased, so don't, like, get mad at me. Um, but yeah, anyway, that is it for this video, and I will make a video to follow up on my predictions, most likely after the Grand Prix final. So definitely subscribe if you want to be around for that. And if you like this video, make sure you like and subscribe. So, yeah, anyway, thank you to everyone who has liked my videos and subscribed to my channel so far. I'm doing a little love heart to you from my room right now. Also, happy 2025, guys. I'm filming this on the 2nd of January. I probably won't post this for ages, but yeah, happy New Year. All the best, and I'll see you all for more skating in the future. Bye.